guys, welcome back to JNF Legacy Farm. My name is Kelsey, and today I want to talk to you about mini cows. Now, this is a new hot trend that is very common in like smaller farms. Obviously, miniature cows, they fit well into smaller farms. So I kind of want to talk to you a little bit about that. Now, as many of you know, we do raise beef cattle here in Michigan. We raise standard size beef cattle. We just have a small hobby farm that we hope to grow over the years. And a couple weeks ago, I was able to add a mini cow to our farm. Now you might ask why I would get a mini cow when we already have standard size beef cattle. Well, the reason that I wanted to purchase a mini cow is I wanted a dairy animal. And I did not want a full size dairy cow because we have a small family, so we will not be needing that much milk. A full-size dairy breed, like a Jersey or like a Holstein, which are very common around here, they can produce like 8 gallons a day, and that is not something that I have the time or space for. And then also, I don't want to have to feed another full-size head of cattle. So that's the reason that my husband and I discussed getting a mini cow, because we did want to get the dairy animal, but we wanted smaller input. We didn't want to feed as much, smaller output. We did not want as much milk. Now, another reason a lot of people choose a mini cow is because they also do not need as much space. That's not a problem here. The size thing wasn't really what we needed. Like space wasn't that important to us, but the main thing was the feed. We wanted to feed less and get less milk. A lot of the miniature breeds, they still do produce a decent amount of milk. This heifer that I bought is a Dexter. I'll show her to you guys in a minute. She's super cute. She is a Dexter, and she comes from good milk lines. Which is important. Typically in her family, they can get up to like 2 gallons per day. Now really 1 gallon a day is good for us. So that's kind of what we're looking for. That's why we did not want a full size standard dairy cow. A lot of people get into miniature cattle for other reasons. They're adorable, and that is why they're becoming such a big trend right now. You get a lot of like these fancy breeds, and you know, they come in all different colors, and some of them are even fluffy, and they're just adorable. So that is why, you know, some people want to get a mini cow, because it is cute. Another reason is some people raise them for beef, because if you do have a smaller area where you don't think that you would normally be able to graze a couple of cows or steers or whatever you're looking for, you can probably graze a couple mini steers. Another thing is that I will say is that if you are like a new farmer, it'd be a lot easier for you to get into like miniature cattle than it would be to start with standard size cattle, if you were nervous and unsure about it. Because like my miniature heifer, I mean, she's a lot less intimidating than, you know, my other full-size animals. Now I'll show you. This is Miss Dolly. She will mature to be about 39 inches at the hip here. It is kind of hard to see her height from this angle, but I will include like some other pictures and videos that I have of her so you can kind of get a better look at her size. She is, I believe, 8 months old now. We do plan on breeding her when she gets older at some point. And then, as I said, she will be our milk cow. So Dolly here is a Dexter. And the thing about Dexters is that they're technically not miniature cows at all, because Dexters do not get much taller. They're usually somewhere in the 40-inch mark. Again, that is taken at the hip, like right by the tail. And a lot of times, I mean, Dexters don't get much higher than 45, 48 inches. So versus some of these other breeds are, you can find a miniature breed of almost any full-size standard breed, and that is done by either crossing a Dexter that is small with them, or by just breeding for small calves, which is a way that they get a lot of the pure breed. Said, one benefit, if you're new to cattle, to start with the miniature cattle, is that they're a little less intimidating. Now, I have been around draft horses since I was a very young age, so like the size does not bother me for our beef cattle. I know some people are not used to the larger animals, and it can be very intimidating if you're not used to being around them. So, for example, I did tie up my beef cow in the barn here. She is a Seminole cross, and I'll kind of give you a size comparison so that way you can see. Here you go. This is Brittany, our beef cow. She is bred, and she will be calving for us in June. She is bred to a Hereford bull. But as you can see, she's much larger. So, and then you've got little Dolly over there. So, if working like larger cattle intimidates you, miniature cattle would probably be a lot easier for you to start off with and be a lot more comfortable with. Another thing with the size is that they are great for kids. We actually have some family members that are going to show Dolly, and she is perfect for kids. It's a lot easier, I think, for a kid to be around something this size than it is to be around something that's this size. Dolly right now at 7 months old is about 200 pounds, and Brittany, my beef cow here, is upwards of 1,000 pounds. So that's a big difference. When she's older, Dolly will probably mature at around 500 to 600 pounds. If you are looking to get into raising mini cows, one thing that I will caution you is you need to be aware for scams. I noticed that scams are a big thing right now when I was looking for Dolly. And it's just because a lot of times people who are buying miniature cattle are inexperienced with cattle owning. And again, that is not the case 100% of the time. Look at me. I have a standard size herd, and then I went out and bought a mini cow. But a lot of people that are buying some of the miniature cattle, they are people who are new to owning livestock, so they might not ask all of the questions that are necessary and might make them easier targets. So just be careful with that. If you are, never pay for something that you haven't seen. And I know a big thing that's going on is that people will want you to put a deposit down before you've seen the animal, and then they say that they will ship it to you, and then a lot of times they will delete you, block you, and never show up with your cow. So keep that in mind. I don't want anyone to get scammed. And it's just a thing right now because the mini cows are so trendy and popular. It'll blow over just like a lot of things do. But I just want everyone to stay safe out there, and I don't want anyone to lose their money. Farming's a tough enough business as it is. Another thing is make sure that you are fully aware of what you would like to buy, and what you need and the purposes when you go to start searching for your mini cow. Like I said, I wanted a dairy animal, so that was my main focus. That's why I chose the Dexters. But there are a lot of really pretty, really colorful calves out there that you will find, and they will be very expensive. That's why I was happy that I found my Dexter. She is registered, and she came in a lot cheaper price than some of these mixed breeds that are not registered. So keep that in mind, you know, that a lot of people are charging high for some of these mixed breeds just because of the color that they have. So you still want to make sure, you know, you can get a very flashy, nice looking cow, but just make sure that you are really making sure that you're getting a good animal too, and not just paying for color. Now, I did bring Dolly over here next to Brittany so that you could get a size comparison. I know I kind of tried to show it earlier, but it might not have been as easy to tell. So you could really tell a difference here. Like, she looks like her baby, but she is not. Actually, Brittany's calf from last June was born 3 days after Dolly, and he is much bigger than Dolly. So it's actually quite funny to see. But yeah, there's just kind of, you know, size difference, so you can see how small she really is compared to this full-size girl here. Now you might be asking, well, Kelsey, if your goal is to milk her, how come you bought her just as an on-bred heifer and you didn't buy a cow and milk? Well, the reason for that is that I wanted to buy a younger heifer so that I could train her the way I wanted to and get her really used to us. Because if I'm going to milk her, I would like her to be nice and very broke and gentle. So I want her to spend a lot of time with us, and this way I can pick out who I'm going to breed her to and, you know, make my decisions that way. So that's why I did that. I just kind of wanted to have more control over the situation. You can find bred cows. Sometimes it's harder to find ones that are currently in milk, but they're out there if you look. Well, guys, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed meeting Dolly. Here I have a couple other friends that came to visit me. So thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe so that you can see more content.